Hello, class. This is Justin and Alex, the TAs for Principles of Macro. And today we're just going to go over a few questions on the last homework that might help you for the final exam. So I'll go first. I'm going to just talk about computing real exchange rates. Um, so I have my document up here. So in this case, we're going to consider a basket of consumer goods that costs $90 in the US, and the same basket of goods costs 105 yuan in China. So basically, it kind of gives us this little table right here, the cost in the US of the basket, the cost in China in yuan. And then right here, we have the nominal exchange rate, which in this case is 7. And then in another case, it's $10.50. And that's, or excuse me, 10.50 yuan per dollar. And then over here, we're going to need to calculate this real exchange rate. So simply to calculate the real exchange rate, it's just going to be this formula right here. So it's going to be your nominal exchange rate times your domestic price level, and then you divide that by your foreign price level. So what would the nominal exchange rate be? In the first case, it's 7 yuan per dollar. So we're going to put that right there. And in this part of the equation, the foreign price level, that was 105. So whatever the cost of the basket is in the foreign price level, we're going to use that. And then simply, or excuse me, the domestic price level. So that would be 90. And then on the bottom, the foreign price level, that would be 105 since we're comparing it with China. So in the first case, when the nominal exchange rate is 7, we do 7 times the domestic price level of 90 divided by the foreign price level, which was 105. And then that basically gives us 6. So the interpretation for this would be that it's 6 baskets of Chinese goods per basket of US goods. And then you do the same for the new nominal exchange rate, which would be 1050. And then we'd see that 9 baskets of Chinese goods per basket of US goods. So basically, as the nominal exchange rate is increasing, we see that right down here that the baskets or the interpretation of the baskets are also increasing. So um, that is it for number 7. And I'm going to give it over to Alex to to do number 6.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna talk a little bit about number 6, which is actually a really cool question. Also not too complicated. So what you're actually asked in this question is they tell you about this Big Mac index. This index is still online available and became famous when The Economist tried to kind of explain stuff about exchange rates using a price of a Big Mac. The cool thing about the price of a Big Mac is like everyone can kind of like understand like what it's worth. Like sometimes you have exchange rate like the steel price, but it's very hard to kind of like imagine what's cheap for steel, what's expensive. So a Big Mac in that instance is something we all know how much should cost and what's like expensive relative to the dollar. So the first question is here to fill out this table, which basically what are we given? We are given the local price in their currency. So for the euro, it would be euro. A Big Mac is 4.80 euro, or in China it's 21. Excuse me if I'm wrong. I think it's like yen, if I'm not mistaken. Yuan. Poland, it's a 10.8, whatever they use in Poland. Etc. So you get what I'm saying, but they don't even say it doesn't matter because we're given the exchange rates to the dollar, and using those exchange rates at the time this data was taken, you see that converting it back to dollar, basically the language we speak, it's almost like quote unquote translating it, 2.94. That makes sense. So in China, when you go to McDonald's, you can get a Big Mac for $2.94, which is very cheap. Makes sense, right? In Poland, it's even cheaper. You can basically buy a Big Mac for less than $3, which is a really good deal. So we're asked to basically fill out this table for the euro area. So in this case, it's Switzerland and the euro, which would basically just be 4.08, the currency. So in that case, euro, but you don't really need to add that, times the exchange rate, 1.12, which that would equal 4.57. So that means in the euro area, get the Big Mac for 4.57. And in Switzerland, this is 6.5 times 1.01, which would be 6.57. So that means that when we go back, let me underline this here, the 5.74 in the United States, you can see that it's cheaper in the euro area, you get it for cheaper, and you get it cheaper in every country except for actually Switzerland. But Switzerland is anyhow known as a very expensive country, and I actually grew up close to Switzerland, just a fun fact, and I can validate that things there are pretty expensive. Purchasing power parity basically states the exchange rate would need to equalize the US dollar price. So imagine me basically getting rid of all these numbers and putting the 5.74 US dollars here. They're asking you which exchange rate would it have to be that this dollar price would be equal. Like in a perfect world, all Big Macs would be the same. No matter which country, it would be the same price. So they're basically just asking you which number it would have to be. And they give you the example with British pounds. So for it to be the same, it will have to be 1.74. And they're asking you with the euro, which would be also very easy. You go up and you basically say PPP, then US dollar per euro equals, and then again $5.74 divided by, and then it's going to be euro. And what's their price? The euro is 4.08, and that gives us basically 1.14 per euro. So it would have to be 1.14 per 1.41, excuse me, per euro for it to be equal. And this would change, means that the euro had, I think they're to appreciated or depreciated, and did appreciate. Because it went up from 1.12 to from this number to 1.41. And the last one says, if like, imagine it's a durable good, which means basically like a good that doesn't spoil, which obviously it does, but like just imagine McDonald's comes out with this formula, their burgers never go bad and still taste the same. You would want to export Macs from the euro area to United States, because as we could see, these Big Macs from the euro area are cheaper. So if you could be able to, you know, sell them and it's the same exact product in the United States, you could make a quick buck. And yeah, you could do the same, except for Switzerland. You wouldn't want to import them from Switzerland because they cost more. But basically, that's the answer to this question. And you're pretty much done. And also, moving forward, if you're interested in exchange rates, the Big Mac index, I think it gets updated every year, every month. It's been a thing for quite a while, and it's a pretty interesting economic tool. And yeah, I definitely recommend you to check it out yourself, because it's online available for free. So that was it.